Hello, it's Fellonius. I'm going to jap again. Adult points. I bet you wonder what the hemp is adult points. Well, we call them that because it's mostly things people do and do too early in their lives. They are not adults, they don't have a family, and still they think like they have it. Like a 14-year-old suddenly taking care of, well, perhaps the politics in your family. He's the one who's telling you how you should vote. That's not really necessary for him because he's only 14, but he has been talking about it in school, and you haven't been sitting by the news for the let's say latest 6 years. Yeah, you know that Obama is still your president, or in my case, Stefan Löfven is my prime minister, but you really don't know what they're talking about or whatever. But your son does. Now he's getting adult point for that. There's several other stuff. I mean, let's say that in Sweden we get our driver's license normally around when we are 18 years old. A 19-year-old who's suddenly discussing eco-driving and how many gallons you can save by driving sensibly at 19, he's really getting his adult points up. And actually, anything they say in that case up to, well, let's say 25, 26 years of age are actually rendering them adult points, if there is an adult there to comprehend and understand. And normally adult points is negative. I think that's rather funny now that I'm on the right side of 50. It's really funny. But to me, it's more or less giving them adult points just to tease them. At the same time, I'm actually patting their back because I think they do right. I think they're doing fine, thinking a bit ahead. But normally they don't like to be said, oh, you got to add adult points again. You're adding up. I don't want to be an adult yet. Well, stop thinking then. Because that's the difference between normal, responsible adults and young people who are... I'm not totally sure what they are doing, but if they did what I did, they don't think much. Of course, this is subjective, of course, because it's up to me as the giver of adult points to describe why I reason like this. And of course, as an old teacher, it's always fun to say, oh, you've already learned that. And like dishwashers and washing machines and stuff. Because if you are like 16, 17, and you're playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive all days, you shouldn't really know where the dishwasher is, should you? And he just goes there and starts it or puts it out or even empties. And I say he because that means double adult points. If girls do it, it's not that much of adult points because they are brought up in a different way, I'm sorry to say. I really don't like that. And they are more or less thought of as always getting adult points. They should. But I say no. Please try to restrain yourself. Girls may be just as crazy and wild, and most of them doesn't know anything about eco-driving, by the way. Now, it's just a fun thing. But in the same time, when I'm telling my son this, he's actually rather proud. First of all, I saw what he did, I listened to what he said, and I could get what he said in an area where he normally doesn't walk. And at the moment, he's getting plenty of points just because he's not really into earning money. He just wants a job. He's getting the real life. And that's not bad for a guy who's been sitting in front of the computer since he was 1.5 years old. And I'm telling him, you're more responsible than I was when I was 21. Totally. And he's proud about that. And that makes me proud, of course. So we are going to use those adult points system. First, we don't add them up. I never add anything up. And suddenly he's there and he's got himself a kid or something, and then he's adult. So that's where it breaks even anyway. Well, that's the point. That's an adult point. Thanks for listening. Bye.